Hey, welcome to the podcast, to the episode of Apex to Oval. I don't know what episode we're on. I think we're on 68. Last time we were six. All right, anyway. We got some F1 to talk about. We got the Canadian Grand Prix. We got the Coke 600. We got the Indy 500 recaps. We got some terrible looking cars made by a legendary manufacturer, but let's get into the first bit of F1 news we have. Both Haas and Ocon aggressively refute hot seat rumor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last week we talked about what I guess was just a rumbling, because I know I had not heard it until basically coming on here. But rumors that Esteban Ocon was on the hot seat, and we were talking about how yes, it makes sense in the sense that, like, okay, he's been underperforming, but who are you going to replace him with? Who's in the pipeline? Who's a real candidate? And we didn't really land on anyone, right?
Me.
Exactly.
Replace him with me.
But yeah, so I think it makes good sense that, A, it to be false in the first place, but B, both sides to come out and be like, hey, actually our relationship is good, and not let it just kind of exist behind the scenes.
Yeah. I think it's good. I think Ocon is probably the best driver you could have right now in that seat. Because there's literally nobody else, but he is very much underperforming. He has 1 point this season. He's like tied for 16th in the standings. I scripted a whole video about the Canadian GP earlier today, and I recorded it. I just need to edit it. But yeah, I found he was 16th, tied 16th. I think he's 17th because I think his highest position is lower than Albon. But yeah.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Behrman has 18 points on the year.
Yep, he's 10th, I believe, or 9th, or something like that.
Ninth.
Or 11th, or 9th, yeah.
Yeah,
it's
tough.
Behrman, though. He's a young guy. He's hungry to get better. Ocon maybe probably a little more complacent than Behrman is. But, yeah. Now, what we did in the intro, Ferrari has released an EV. They have revealed an EV. They haven't released it. They've revealed it. Here's a photo of it. Just in the photo. Make it big, Alex. Future Alex, make the photo big. It looks horrendous.
Everyone was making fun of the Mercedes GT that was announced semi-recently. And Ferrari was like, hey, I see this. I acknowledge it. I want to do worse.
It's bad. It's real bad. It looks awful. It looks like that's just why is it orange?
Well,
first off,
I mean, they have a bunch of different colors.
No. You are Ferrari. You are to make red car or blue car. If it ain't red or blue, don't make it.
The only two I've seen it in are red and blue. Oh, I guess I saw a yellow one.
And there's you know what? You're right. They also do yellow, red, the light blue, baby blue. They did that one time. Fine. Any other color? Bennett. That's not Ferrari. It's not. Get rid of it. Like an orange Ferrari is gross, and that's what this reveal is in. It's literally a papaya orange Ferrari. What?
Well, they
fudge?
revealed it in all the colors. Again, I've seen it in every color but orange.
You sent the one in orange.
Okay, but I've also seen it in orange. I sent the first one that popped up on my timeline.
It is papaya or that is gross. A, the colorway is gross. B, the car looks. It's not a Ferrari. Ferraris are sexy.
I would believe it if you told me this was a Hyundai Ioniq sports car. Like if they were like, hey, our Ioniq line, our Kia EV lines are super successful. Let's make a sporty coupe out of it. And look, I think that the Hyundai Ioniqs are great cars for people that want that kind of car. I'm actually big fan of like the Ioniq 5. but that is for like a people mover crossover sedan type thing. That is not for a $640,000 Ferrari.
Yeah. So it was the interior was co-designed with Apple's. First off, who designed it? Because it looks awful.
I mean, I
What are
like
the
the
headlights?
interior, but you'd think you'd like the interior at that cost.
Yeah, it's $640,000
Yeah.
USD. For that hunk of garbage, I'd pay $2 maybe.
Actually, you know what it looks like?
You know
You've
what?
been
I
playing
wouldn't pay a cent.
you've
Yeah,
been
what?
you've been playing a lot of Forza Horizon lately, right?
Yeah,
You know the Honda E?
I do.
It looks a
Here's
lot like that. I'm
here's
just
a photo
saying.
of the Honda E. Here's a photo of it.
I'm sure someone's made that comparison before, but I don't know, man.
It just looks disgusting.
It's crazy.
For comment 21 minutes ago, why are you buying a Ferrari to walk out with a car that looks like a Honda?
Hey, look at that. Chevy vindicated on their taillight designs from 20 years ago. Like those old Impalas with the,
Yeah.
the like identical taillights to this.
Also,
Um,
like, why is the back indented?
Because why not?
And why are the rims like that?
There are so many trends in automotive design that I really struggle to understand. Like one
Why do
thing,
you
I was looking at cars recently, and like if you look at like the Hyundai Kona with like the single line headlight bar, the line taillight bar, it looks more like Iron Man's helmet than an actual car. And that's an ever increasing trend in automotive design, and all these different things that don't look visually appealing make it look like some futuristic thing instead of like a car. Like what, especially like your Ferrari, your history is in these like very attractive sports cars, and you're following this like weird appliancey futuristic-y design language instead of just put an electric drivetrain in a Ferrari body, call it a day. People would be lining up on Ferrari's level of lining up.
Also, this type of crap only happens for EVs.
Yes and no.
Gas car. I have never seen a gas car have that level of dog shite design. Like there's been some bad gas cars, but if you look at like the worst gas cars ever made, and then you look at like the best EVs ever made, the worst gas cars look better than the best EVs. It's mind-boggling how bad they make EVs look. They make them look so unappealing.
I think that as a general trend, I think that companies are taking more risks, I guess, with their EV designs. But I think, I mean, I mentioned the Hyundai Kona. That's a gas car. That's not an EV. And I personally think that that's one of the ugliest things I've ever seen.
What is it called? I'll look it up. What is it called?
Hyundai Kona. It's literally like a thin line headlight, thin line taillight. It's like gross. At least they offer it in fun colors, which is cool. But and then you've got on the other side, you've got things like the Porsche Taycan is a nice car. I mean, it's just a Porsche, right?
It looks like a Porsche though. Like it's not like they're not veering majorly off. It still looks like a Porsche. Half the EV cars from major manufacturers don't look like the company's cars.
Well, I was disagreeing and saying that you've got a lot of EV options that fall in line design language wise with the rest of their lineup. Kia, I mean, I have some gripes with how they style their vehicles in general, but the Kia EVs have like identical taillights, have very similar front fascia or whatever, except obviously no grille, to their gas powered counterparts. Like those fit right in line. Obviously, the Hyundai Ioniqs are a little different design language wise, but Hyundai's trending towards that in their normal cars anyway. That kind of design language, which is bizarre. You've got like the Chevy, Nissan, or actually the new Nissan Leaf is a little weird, but a lot of those EVs are more in line with their previous stuff.
Mate, the Kona looks fine.
No, dude, this thing is disgusting. The new one with the like single thin line headlight. It's terrible.
You mean in the back?
No, in the front. Are you looking at an older one?
Is it? Are you talking about the electric or the like?
The 2026 Hyundai Kona.
You might be thinking of the wrong car.
No,
Oh.
I am not. You see the headlight under the like Hyundai logo? And then the taillight is the same thing. It's like just a line. That's been a trend in automotive design in general, though. The single line for the taillights.
I think it looks all right. I think it looks like Cyclops, and I really like Cyclops.
No, I hate it.
I think it looks like
time.
Cyclops. Either way, the Ferrari looks garbage.
Oh, yeah.
Recap time, though, for the Canadian Grand Prix.
Ferrari not look garbage.
Ferrari did not look garbage there, I'm not going to lie. P2 and P4. See, this is what they should have done in 2016. That meme. Here's the meme that Jack put in the doc. It says, drivers fighting, just turn one of their engines off. Your drivers literally cannot fight without their engines.
Yeah, pro tip from Total Wolf.
They should have just done that in 2016.
Yeah, well, I guess recap wise, Kimi Antonelli was on pole. Both he and George Russell got kind of jumped on the start by Lando Norris in the who, keep in mind, was starting on inters, which probably changes the way that they start a little bit. Like maybe he got a bit of a better start because he had a little more traction on like a slightly damp track. Spoiler alert, inters, terrible decision. There's a reason basically no one else did that. And everyone else was on slicks. But Russell gets by Antonelli. Russell inherits the race lead. I'm just going to stick with inherits because Lando was on the wrong tires no matter what. And they have an incredible battle back and forth for literally half of the race. They are just going at it. Russell keeps like I'm surprised he didn't like flat spot it or really take himself out of it earlier than that, because he locked up several times. They were both
he was trying
going
though.
off
He
track.
was trying to take himself out.
Oh yeah, like
so was Kimi. They were both trying to take both of them out. Like
they were scrapping. Because Kimi was still, I think, kind of rightfully mad about on the sprint race on Saturday, which I think that the main race was honestly a little more interesting, but Kimi had position barely on the outside on George, and George closed the door on Kimi such that either they crash or Kimi backs out of it. And Kimi was very upset about that. George didn't think that it was a particularly controversial move, and Mercedes clearly sided with George in that matter. The stewards as well. I think that Kimi definitely has an argument to be made there that he was at least alongside, if not slightly past, at the apex, but obviously around the outside is a different story.
So the off-board cameras showed George ahead at the apex. If you looked at the onboard cameras, Kimi was ahead.
Okay.
So do with that info as you must.
Obviously, F1 race control does some really stupid things about like how they determine who owns a corner that I've long had gripes with, but I certainly think that, as I was saying, I certainly think that Kimi has a case for being at least alongside George in such a way that you should, in my perfect world, that's a situation where the driver should not be able to force a guy off the track in that way.
I hate the rule where it's like, if you're ahead at the apex, you get the corner. Nah, fuck that. Fuck that. It doesn't matter if you're ahead at the apex. If somebody's able to go, like, give them room. You're supposed to give space. I don't give a damn if you're ahead of the apex. You need to leave the goddamn space. What did Fernando say? He needs to leave the space.
I was waiting for that.
You gotta leave the goddamn space. Where is the... Nobody knows. Lewis is the only goddamn driver, and Charles. They're the only two drivers in F1 right now who know how to race, actually race. Because they will actually leave space. Nobody else leaves the space in current F1. It makes no sense. If you are shitty enough to get overtaken on the outside, that is not my problem if you're ahead at the apex and the other person can overtake you on the outside. Get better at driving.
I think it would be nice if we could see it more, because we did get to see it come out last year, but I do think that Piastri has some ethical racing in him. I know last year some of his scraps with Max were beautiful.
Yeah. Piastri's another one, but I wouldn't put him on like the Lewis Charles tier, but he has definitely secured himself in the tier below that. Like, he's very good wheel to wheel. But like, nobody leaves freaking space anymore, and it's like, this isn't racing. Well, it's not racing if you're ahead of the apex and you just get given the corner. No, that's not racing. You should be able to go on the outside and be able to still have space to race.
Yeah,
it's my whole issue with Max. Like, Max is the ultimate shitty wheel-to-wheel driver, like Nikita Mazepin level of wheel-to-wheel driving. Because actually, Mahavir Raghunathan level of wheel-to-wheel driving from Max Verstappen every time, and it pisses me off because Max is an elite driver, the greatest talent we have seen. If he just left space, crazy to think about, he probably would do better.
Yeah, if he was, like, he is some of the best raw pace anyone's ever seen. And if he was the slightest bit less temperamental and the slightest bit more, like, ethical in his racing, I think that he would be, like, I don't even want to know how good he could be if he didn't let his head control all of it.
Yeah.
Although, speaking of Max and temperamental in his head, before the race this weekend, he once again threatened to take his ball and go home and quit F1 going into next season if they didn't seriously change things, because he is not winning a fifth champion. Well, he is not winning his fifth championship, and he does not seem to be competing for a fifth championship, because last year he at least, came back and competed. And because he is not in contention for a championship, which he has become used to, he now has decided that the current state of F1 is terrible and he is going to rage quit.
That's just poor mentality. You don't see Michael Schumacher doing that. You don't see Lewis Hamilton doing that.
Yeah, I mean, Lewis...
Not my goat.
Through the whole ground effect era, which both Mercedes got the cars wrong and Lewis mightily struggled in with those cars. I mean, you saw it at Ferrari too, right? Like, that's just...
Yeah.
But... And other drivers have admitted, like, yeah, maybe the cars aren't the best to drive for a couple of reasons, but also... Look at some of the wheel-to-wheel action that we're able to get. Look at the following that drivers are able to do. Look at the scraps that we're able to have. Like, even if some of it's fake with some of the battery strategy we saw at the beginning of the season, I mean, we've gotten past that. And I think some of that was a quirk of just how fast of a track Australia is. And then, I think Mercedes was still kind of behind on the racecraft in China. But, like, this week, 30 laps of cinema from Antonelli and Russell. Lewis chasing down Max? Cinema. Like, the racing is just amazing. And you see Lewis is, like, getting out of the car grinning every time. Like, he's loving it. A lot of the drivers are loving the action that you're able to get on track. You're actually able to race for the first time in a long time in Formula One. And Max is over here pouting about it constantly.
Yeah, because he's just not good.
Well, I think it doesn't help that his car is terrible this year.
10 times
Red Bull got the
overweight.
body.
Yeah.
Red Bull got the chassis so wrong, I think.
Dude, how are you so overweight still? I don't get it.
I think
make some upgrades, damn it! What are we doing?
I think they were finally getting back to like the weight limit. But I think the aero is also still a little goofed. But yeah, they were like 40 pound, 40 kilo. I don't even remember. They were crazy overweight.
It was bad. Same with Williams. Like, Williams was extremely overweight too. I don't know how you messed it up that bad.
Like, at least Red Bull has the excuse that they were fighting for the title with Max when they really had no business doing so. Williams had put all their chips on the table for this year, and I still am amazed that it went as badly as it did, when for years they were like 26, 26. We'll take our lumps now. 26. All building up to that, and then 26 comes, and
James Vowell saying, break it. Break the entire car. Yeah, you certainly broke the car and then some, because your car is dog shit. You broke it too much. You broke it too much to the fact that you literally broke the car.
Speaking of breaking things too much, we had 6 drivers that were not able to finish the race. One of those, Arvid Lindblad, didn't even make it off the grid. I think his official top speed was 4 kilometers per hour or something like that.
Did he even go? I don't think he even went 4 kilometers.
He stalled. The top speed was from them pushing him off, I think. And
if they track that, that's fucking beautiful. I need them to track that next time.
And then
next time somebody doesn't start, I need you to track the people pushing them off the track.
Albon DNF'd. Russell and Lando both had like energy related issues.
Well, I thought George had an engine issue. Like that's why.
Yeah, he lost electrical power.
Not just that's what it was.
Yeah, there was no electric.
Yeah.
And they wanted him to clear the car quicker because they, I think, weren't able to verify what the engine was like doing. But yeah, he basically lost power. Lando was like a gearbox issue, right?
Yes. That's what they brought him in for before, because they brought him into pit like decently early on for the second time. And
when he came out, I think it cut. He was able to get it in anti-stall or whatever, and
yeah,
I think that was him. Anyway, Fernando, I didn't catch why he DNF'd. Sergio Perez.
Fernando retired because it was a seat issue.
Okay, so it's just Aston Martin behavior.
Pretty much.
And then Sergio Perez, I think that we were not giving Cadillac enough props for the fact that as a brand new, truly new, not taking over for an existing team, Formula One outfit, Cadillac was actually finishing their races, completing more laps. I actually think McLaren is still the team with the least laps completed in races, which is kind of a funny stat. But Cadillac was actually finishing races, even if they were slow. Finally, that kind of didn't happen. Sergio Perez's car fell apart, and he retired.
I also want to know, Albon retired because Oscar Piastri completely kamikazed him in the bend.
He Bowie knife 99'd him, so to speak.
In the Big Bend, he just went, Albon's turning, and right into the side of it. That was literally one of his favorite drivers is Michael Schumacher, and he resembled Michael Schumacher in that one. Do you get that? Please tell me you get that with David Hill. Oh my God! He channeled his inner Michael Schumacher. He's like, screw this, Williams. I need to get past him, and then hit him.
But anyway, double points for Alpine. P6 for Franco Colapinto, who
new career
what a
best.
day.
New career
Isaac
best,
Hadjar looked fast. Obviously, he ended up finishing behind Max, and was kind of behind Max when it counted. But like Isaac Hadjar was teaching Max a thing or two this weekend.
Yeah.
Like I think he had a few tenths on Max at some points in like practice / qualifying that Max was trying to learn from, which was
also
crazy.
Teaching Charles lessons during the race before he inevitably got a ton of penalties.
Mm-hmm.
Which he was still super fast, and he probably would have at least been closer to Charles, if not been ahead, if he didn't get those penalties. But again, I want to bring up Franco Colapinto. He went from 18th in the standings to 11th in 2 races.
Good stuff.
He finished P7 in Miami and P6 in Canada.
And it's crazy. It's almost like it takes a season for drivers to really like get their bearings in F1 and really start to come on as drivers.
Well, I think also the upgrades Alpine has brung have really suited him.
Yeah, but if you look at his performance compared to Gasly, I mean, Gasly was running circles around him last year.
But Gasly's also Pierre Gasly. Let's not forget that.
Yeah, but Colapinto is like, I mean, he was ahead of Gasly all weekend, and he's been lately like outpacing Gasly. It feels like over, maybe even the last like several races.
This is true, but like genuinely, Franco Colapinto came in 3 weeks ago or 2 races ago in P18 with 1 point. and now he has like 15 points in
Goat.
and that unbelievable by the way from Franco Colapinto. The best of the rest. Uh
I think it depends
yes.
how you define the
He was.
rest.
I
Oh,
define
in
the
this
rest as
race,
anybody but Red Bull, Mercedes, McLaren, and Ferrari.
yeah, I think this was the first race that Red Bull at all seemed to belong in that group. Um, honestly, I don't think that Red Bull deserves to be in that top tier of teams up until like this race. But
I mean, realistically, it's like Tottenham in the Big Six. Like they don't deserve to be there at all. They're just there.
yeah,
Um, like Tottenham in the Big Six, they don't deserve it. They've done nothing. They have the they don't. They're not top 10 in titles won. They're not a good team. They're only there because they're rivals with Arsenal. Similar to Red Bull, Red Bull this season have not deserved to be there. Alpine kind of has, but now Red Bull are starting to like belong.
yeah, because like keep in mind, Hadjar is under both Alpine drivers in points.
Yes, he is 12th.
Yeah,
13th,
like
12th, something like that.
12th.
Yeah.
12th. Which I think tells you, like, obviously Max is 7th in the points, sure, but he's still Max Verstappen. Like, we give him a lot of flack for his wheel-to-wheel temperament. Not even skills, it's just he doesn't have the patience for it, it seems like.
Well, the thing is, I think he can be good. Like, if you watch him with Charles, he's a great wheel-to-wheel driver when he doesn't want to, like, ram into somebody. It's just that unless it's Charles Leclerc, he wants to ram into somebody.
Tragic. But
Am
yeah,
I wrong?
no, I don't think you're wrong.
Like, I think this was the first wheel-to-wheel racing that between Max and Lewis since 2021 that they've actually, like, not had contact.
Crazy.
Or, like, Max hasn't, like, driven Lewis wide. Also, what an overtake by Lewis into turn one. That was beautiful. It wasn't like he was faster around like the straight, so he was able to pass him before the turn one. But what an overtake! Also, Lewis is beating Charles so far 3-2 in the first 5 races. Okay, Lewis, just pointing that out. You know, he's beating Charles 3-2. Charles does have more points in the season because he has a higher average finish. But I think Lewis has the highest position. He is second. I think Charles' highest position is third. So,
I mean, Lewis is having fun. And he's still
he
Lewis
looks
Hamilton.
good. He looks good in this car. I freaking love it. I'm so happy to see him like that. Race win coming. You best believe after Monaco and Mercedes engine is down the gutter, you bet your bippy Lewis Hamilton's getting that race win. I hope that's a joke. Well, not really. He's going to get a race win at some point this season. At least I think he will. But there's no way Mercedes engine falls off the way I want it to. Anyway, do you have any final thoughts on the Canadian GP?
No, sir. Kimi won his
Alright.
4th in a row. That's big.
That is big. On to NASCAR. This one's tough. A couple weeks ago we had a bunch of deaths in racing. This one we have Kyle Busch, who tragically passed away. It was rough. Suddenly, it happened suddenly. It was like double pneumonia that like went into sepsis. I believe was the cause, which is just not. It's rough. So condolences to his family, his friends, everyone that knows him. We've really lost someone good.
Yeah, and someone who, well, first I'm going to say that we're not going to do coverage here justice because I think that there are plenty of people, including almost every single driver in NASCAR, that has done a better job than we ever could of talking about his life and career and the impact he's had on so many people. I would instead point you to even the tribute from the start of the Coke 600 for like a much better tribute than we could ever do. But you saw with how many KBM decals, how many drivers were making posts, how many current Cup drivers only caught on because of their time at KBM or their time working or in related teams. I mean, Spire Motorsports is KBM. Like they're still running out of the KBM shop. Like that's the team that won Cup race, obviously. It's tough.
Yeah. I also want to just say there was a lot of like people ragging on Bubba. This happens all the time. Bubba just gets ragged on. I saw a lot of posts of like Bubba getting emotional and like like just crouching by the Kyle Busch like painted thing on the lawn, and a lot of people were attacking him for calling him performative, like he wasn't
As if, well,
like he
obviously a bunch
wasn't
of
close
people
to
are going to do
Kyle.
that, period. But obviously, not every driver, but a good chunk of drivers did that, and did many things like that. This hit the entire garage very hard. And B, this is a guy who like raced for him. Like,
Yeah, and we're also acting like Kyle didn't support Bubba in every way. Like, I'm pretty sure I saw a thing where it was like when Black Lives Matter happened, and Bubba was like, I don't know if he was fully, but like when he was like being very prominent in the media about it, uh, Bush stood by him, and that was big, because I know in F1 like not many drivers really stood up for it, and I'm assuming in NASCAR, I didn't really watch NASCAR during BLM, but like I know I would assume in NASCAR because of the way the sport is, not many people stood up with Bubba. Um,
well, brief correction there. The entire garage stood with Bubba when it counted,
okay.
and very publicly. Really, the only driver that differentiated himself in any way then was Tyler Reddick, for his kind of famous tweet that got him on Richard Childress's shit list briefly. That was anti-Trump when Trump criticized Bubba, which I think is really funny. But in this case,
Go Tyler Reddick.
I don't think it's a key differentiator. But keep in mind that Bubba
Yeah.
Wallace comes up as obviously Rev Racing, Drive for Diversity, all of that, but he was a development driver in the Joe Gibbs system. He was a KBM driver full time, right? Like that was his his rise. That was where he made a name for himself, where he was able to, and then he went to the Ford program, and then he went to Richard Petty Motorsports, blah blah blah. But like that's the start of his career. That's where he could make it at the national scale.
Yeah. I also, with Katherine Legge doing the double, I wanted to touch upon this because I saw a clip of Tony Stewart, and I believe it was Dale Jr. No, maybe it wasn't Dale Jr. Somebody was asking Tony Stewart if any driver could win both the Indy 500 and the Coke 600, who would you put your bet to do it? And Tony Stewart said the only person that could have done it is now dead, and he was talking about Kyle Busch. And apparently it was a done deal. Like M&M's was sponsoring him in the Indy 500 and the Coke 600.
It was talked about forever.
And Gibbs said no.
Yeah.
Which
It was
I
talked
think
about
is
forever
tragic.
and a half. Which I think there was a ton of speculation about once he left Joe Gibbs that it would kind of finally happen. But obviously didn't.
It would have happened before. Like, if he didn't tragically pass away, I have a feeling it would have happened before he retired. He would have given it at least a shot, if not two.
Yeah.
But he was talented in every which way. I mean, but man,
Loved racing.
I would kill to see Bush do the double if he was still alive, because I think he would do damn well.
In other kind of one-off notes here, because I don't want to spend too long on this, probably just because, again, I think that you could take it from the drivers themselves, take it from people who are in and around him much better than we ever would. say that RCR is no longer running the 8 car, which that 8 was designed in tandem with Kyle Busch. You can look at some of the design details that I think a lot of people didn't really realize leading up to this, but like that was a very intentional design for him, even though the 8 was historically an RCR number. So instead, they're running the 33, or on entry lists as the 133, because they already ran a 33 car earlier in the season. And that they're saving the number 8 for Brexton Busch whenever he is ready to race in NASCAR, which I think is really interesting from a logistical standpoint. Does that lock him in to the RCR development pipeline? Is RCR truly like wherever Brexton goes will release this number for him when that's, been their number going back, whatever else. So that's interesting to me.
I
you
think
got
that's
any?
a good gesture, though. I think that's a great gesture. I personally, if I were Childress, if I couldn't get Brexton, I would just release the number. I don't remember what. Is he in a pipeline yet? Do we know?
I mean, he was
Harvick
racing for his dad, basically.
Yeah, I know Harvick is in Toyota, but like, what is Brexton in a Ford Chevy or what? Is he old enough to be in a pipeline yet?
He's in late models, right? So like,
Yeah.
I don't actually know who he.
Hold up. Is he 11?
Yeah, or he's not old.
He's 11? Brexton raced. Hold up. Wait. Pause. Brexton started racing in 2020 at 5 years old.
Checks out. Yeah, I think he's 11.
Oh my god. That is so sad. I mean, I'd imagine he would be... I'd imagine he wouldn't go to the Toyota pipeline. Let's just say that. Anyway.
I don't know if that's necessarily true, but I think he's just going wherever... Like, I think to this point, he was racing for KBM.
Yeah.
As in, however KBM exists in a way for him to race in it. But yes, he left Joe Gibbs for a number of reasons, but it's not like that bridge was burnt, right?
I don't know. Maybe I'm looking at it through like a very pessimistic view, but like I feel like that bridge was kind of burnt a little bit. I feel like Gibbs kind of pushed him out, and he was hurt by that. Because something came out where like Gibbs regrets not reconciling with Busch.
I don't think
about him pushing him
I don't
out.
think we should be speculating on this.
But I don't know. Maybe I saw it wrong, but I don't know. I have a feeling he's gonna go to like a Chevy, and like kick it with RCR, or like a Hendricks or something like that. Also, are they running a second car? RCR?
What? Yeah, they're running their second full-time chartered car is just running as the 33.
Are they? Is it going to be a mix of Jesse Love and Austin Hill, or is it going to be just Hill, or is it going to be just?
To my knowledge, they have not announced that yet, and the driver for this week at Nashville is still to be determined or to be announced.
Please put in Jesse Love full time. Okay.
Now it's not super. It doesn't feel super appropriate to talk about in this context, but this weekend does make it seem a little bit like Jesse Love already either has an opportunity and formally locked up elsewhere, or is otherwise looking to get out of the RCR pipeline in some way. I don't get the sense that he's a very serious candidate to take over the ride full time, but also I wouldn't want him to be taking over in the 33 right now. I think that having Austin Hill step in that car as the like full-time driver, or having someone else take it over, or rotating, or however else they do it, I think that putting a prospect who Jesse Love, championship caliber driver in the series, very talented driver, not someone I'd want to throw into that much of a pressure cooker into that type of a situation with his inexperience versus someone like Austin Hill, who's been a career driver in the series and who, frankly, it's not make or break for his career if he succumbs to the pressure in some ways in this like brief stint, right?
That's fair. That's fair.
To kind of bring it back on a lighter note, as we're, unless you've got more, as we're kind of moving on from this chapter.
I do not.
One of my favorite Kyle Busch things is that I always like to remember that Kyle Busch won the Bushy McBush Race 400, which was a fan-voted name sponsored by Busch, on Kyle Busch's birthday a few years back, which is one of the things that, I mean, basically once the race was announced, was one of those things where you're like, it has to happen, and it did, and may not have gotten all the endings that he deserved, what with racing with and getting to watch his son and all of that, but at least, you know, you can remember that he was a multi-time champion. He had an immeasurable impact on so many people, and he did get some of those moments along the way where you're like, all right, at least that happened, you know?
Yeah. Next up, we have a blind react. Now, I don't know what this is, Jake. Do you want to like ease me into this? What should I expect with this?
It's just a meme.
I don't.
I think you did it again here, but I've always thought it was funny that no matter how many times you're soft or hard corrected on it, you keep referring to Hendrick Motorsports or Hendrick as Hendricks, and even sometimes writing it as that. You like even did it.
Is this the Barnes and Noble and Barnes and Nobles type shit?
Kind of, except it's one of those things that NASCAR fans get really, really up in arms about.
Really?
Oh yeah, which is why it's been a constant like either soft or hard correction, and I figured it would come up, and sure enough, like 2 minutes ago you said it again, and I was like, all right, this is not.
Why are NASCAR fans so up in arms about this? It's
because it's a different name.
It's not. It's just the plural of Hendrick.
But it's Hendricks is a name, and it is not Rick Hendrick's name. It is not HendricksCars.com. It is HendrickCars.com and all of that.
Yeah, but but typing it out and like saying it are different things. Like I'm not gonna say, you know, no, I don't know.
But it's Hendrick Motorsports. It's not Hendricks Motorsports.
But it's
Hendrick Cars.
Different contexts. If I say Hendrick Motorsports. But if I'm going to shorten it, it's Hendricks. It's different. Yes.
No.
Yeah, it's different. Yes, it is. It is completely different. Hendrick Motorsports. If you're saying the full thing, it's Hendrick Motorsports. If I'm going to shorten it, it's going to be Hendricks, because that's just the more natural way of saying the plural version of Hendrick.
I don't know.
It's different. It's different. It is. It's just different.
I just wanted to put that on there because
put your hands up like this, Jack. We're gonna fight. Put your hands up.
I've seen people talk about it in your comments many a time on TikTok.
Put your hands up. Put them up.
I don't know.
Need a thumbnail.
I just thought it was funny.
I need
one of those litmus tests.
I need a thumb. There we go. Okay, we're good. Okay.
It's one of those litmus. It's one of those litmus tests people use of does this person know wheel? And I've seen it come up in the comments one too many times to not make a lighthearted poke at it.
Comments. I don't think it's ever come in my comments. Maybe I'm wrong. I've never seen it come up in my comments before. Is it you that's typing it, or is it just
no?
No.
No.
I've never. Hold up. Oh shoot! Hold on, wait.
But anyway, moving on. The double. Katherine Legge was the first woman to attempt the double, and maybe one of the first, if not the first, foreign-born driver. She completed more laps than Kyle Larson did in 2025, but Larson did complete more miles, which I think, to focus on fairness to the both of them, we focused on miles as kind of the equalizer, but they were remarkably close. And so I think for people who were like, oh, well, she's kind of in a back marker in NASCAR, blah, 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 doesn't count. Larson didn't even reach halfway in the Indy 500 last year. He did 245 laps at Charlotte, sure. Katherine Legge, 17 laps at Indy, got caught up in a wreck that got caught up in, I feel like is kind of the key word, and completed 361 laps at Charlotte. Yes, she was several laps down. Yes, the race ended early due to rain. Yes, she still completed more laps total, but didn't quite get there on miles, although she was well on pace to get there on miles, if not for rain shortening the end of the race. But it's one of those things that who knows when we'll ever get to see someone really turn in a great performance in both, or even really one of them. Although I think Kurt Busch, when he attempted it, got like P6 in the 500. Go for it.
I will.
You'll do it?
I'll do it. I'll start training right now, and I'll do it.
All right.
Yep. P1 and P1, and then I'm gonna do the Canadian. So here's the thing: I'm gonna do the Indy 500. I'm gonna go like 500 miles an hour, average lap time, and I'm gonna complete it super early. Then I'm gonna go to the Canadian Grand Prix, and then I'm gonna race that at 500 miles an hour, average lap time or average speed, and then I'm gonna complete that really early. And then I'm gonna go to Coke 600, and I'm gonna do 500 miles per hour lap time, and then I'm gonna win it, and I'm gonna win all three in one day.
Speaking of winning many in one day and driving at 500 miles an hour, I think that Carson Hocevar is actually a sneaky candidate to do the double at some point. If he can find a ride for it in IndyCar.
Sneaky candidate. It is not just a sneaky candidate. He probably will do it. Like,
well, I know he wants to, but
he wants to do it, and he is Carson Hocevar. He probably will have a ride somewhere.
Well, I was going to say that usually you need to be like in the upper echelon of NASCAR drivers for it to be worth fielding an IndyCar entry for you. Katherine Legge, obviously, kind of an exception with some of the like sponsor backing and everything else that gets set up there. And also why it was such a surprise to find out that she was doing it. But Hocevar, I mean, he spent a lot of time in Indy. He was like watching the race while driving the Indy 500 himself on a sim. Like if there's a guy that will push, like really fight tooth and nail to make it happen, obviously many drivers want to, but he seems like the kind of driver that will fight tooth and nail to make it happen. And Spire seems like the kind of team that would be receptive to doing that sort of thing. Versus like, obviously Joe Gibbs Racing is hard against it always. And Hendrick, I think, I can't really tell with Hendrick. Obviously Larson was able to do it, but that's also, you know, Kyle Larson. And it's not terribly common that drivers have tried it historically. So,
and here's the other question: will we ever see an IndyCar driver try to do the double?
It's a great question. Great question.
Has there ever been an IndyCar driver in the modern era that has tried? I don't think so. I might be wrong, but I think they're scared. I think they're scared they're going to get dogged.
I honestly, if you ask me, I think that part of the struggle with it is
guaranteed entry.
Yeah. Some of the qualifying fields. Not being in a chartered car makes it hard, although not impossible, clearly. But in a world where neither race had people not qualify, it might be more possible.
This is true.
And you've got like the Connor Dailies of the world that have raced in NASCAR in varying degrees.
Huh. Very interesting. Also, one thing I want to say about Legge's double, she would have completed more laps and more miles. Oh, she did more laps than Kyle Larson, but she would have done more miles than Kyle Larson if the race did not end to rain. If the race went to full, she would have done more laps than Kyle Larson, or more miles than Kyle Larson. Which kind of sucks. I mean, I get the rain. Just throw on some wet tires and have them go at it, slip and sliding on the goddamn oval. Who really cares? Like, you know, driver safety, who cares? No.
On an oval, I'm so sure.
They would literally be slipping and sliding around the corners. But yeah, I mean, while we're saying that, let's just get into let's get into the race recaps, and then we'll get into the final thing for that. But yeah, trucks rigs won. It was rained. It was shortened because the Indy 500. It was put on Sunday because it rained, and yeah, I don't know, whatever. cool. The O'Reilly race was rained. Chastain won. It was shortened because it was raining, and it was like 10 o'clock or some shit, and they were like, "We're calling it." And then the Cup race was rained and called short. And Daniel Suarez won it, which I think I love to see.
And Suarez won it. Of the races, it was kind of the most... Well, trucks were racing towards a time anyway, kind of. So that sort of counts. But the Cup race went a very long distance, went 300-something laps. They all knew they were racing kind of towards the end. Suarez held on 2 restarts despite having a tire disadvantage. Like, of all of the race wins, it was... Suarez might have been the least expected, like who won the race versus who would be kind of the favorites for the race, but Suarez probably earned it the most.
Yeah. Suarez wasn't even near the top for the first, 250 laps, and then just stormed up there and is like, damn.
I mean, he was fast.
He was fast, but he wasn't, top 10, anywhere near the top 10.
I mean, Toyota was sweeping the top 5 for forever, it felt like.
Yeah.
But,
and then it was, Larson and then SVG somehow. I don't...
And yeah, you talked about the truck race getting delayed from Friday to Saturday at 8 a.m. to Saturday at 9 p.m. to Sunday morning. And the O'Reilly race happening but being affected by rain. The scheduled combined distance for O'Reilly and trucks was 334 laps. Of those, they ran 201 laps completed. Of those, only 94 were green flag laps across the 2 races.
That's horrendous.
Yeah.
Genuinely horrendous. God damn, that sucks. If we do under or over miles of versus Katherine Legge, though, Chastain and Zilich both did less.
Is that true?
Oh, wait a minute. No, it's not, because they did the Coke shoot. Well, I'm talking about just O'Reilly and trucks.
Because, I mean, I believe it for Zilich 100%. Chastain still ran 317 laps. I should have done the math out. Because Chastain still made it 317 laps in the Coke 600.
Oh, you're right. No, she didn't beat Chastain. Then
and Chastain got 91 then. That's already 400. Yeah, I think Chastain definitely got it.
I think Chastain got it. Chastain got it. Zilich, I don't think did.
And Zilich did not, yeah. But Zilich, I think there's no way he could have given... You're only doing 50 laps in the 600.
Yeah. But yeah, fun stuff. The final thing, though, for new stuff... for people who don't watch the podcast, or are just tuning in or whatever, there's a man who has become a cult legend between me and Jack after an incident during a game that we once played. The man's name is Stanton Barrett. Cup driver for a little bit, a rally driver for a little bit, truck driver for a little bit. And when I mean a cup driver for a little bit, I mean he ran from 1999 to 2020. Not full time at any point, but he did run races from 1999 to 2020.
25 races.
Yep. 25
over
races
that time.
During that. Yep, over that time. Yep.
He did run 206 races in a 26-year span in the O'Reilly series.
Yeah. But Stanton Barrett. Now, I was at the Trans Am race at Landmark Park this past weekend, and I'm trying to figure out who I want to interview, and I'm walking around the paddock checking people out, not like that, but I'm just checking out, trailers, who's here, who's not. And I see Stanton Barrett Motorsports. I'm like, I love Stanton Barrett. He's like a little legend on this podcast. So I'm like, maybe he's here. Maybe he's here. So I go check the cars. Stanton Barrett's name is on one of the cars. I'm like, okay. So I send Jack a picture of that, and then I check the entry list, and I'm like, oh shoot, he actually is here. Which isn't guaranteed because Laney Bice was supposed to be at the Trans Am race, but she got in a crash the week prior and couldn't make it. But Stanton Barrett was there, so I went to his mechanic. I'm like, hey, is Stanton Barrett here? And he's like, yeah, he's in his trailer. I was like, can I go ask him something? He's like, yeah, sure. Walk in the trailer. Hey, can I do an interview with you? Sure, what time? 2. So I got to do an interview with Stanton Barrett. It was like 5 minutes. I got his email, and eventually, when Jack gets me his schedule for the next couple of weeks, I'm going to email Stanton Barrett, and I'm going to see if he would like to come on the pod. I did ask him at the Trans Am race, and he said, yes, email me. Well, he said text me, but I'm going to email him instead. But we could have Stanton Barrett on the pod, which I am. If we make this happen, if I make this happen and Jack is there for it, because we're not doing a Bob Pockrass. We're not doing that again. I fumbled. I sounded stupid. We're not doing that again. But if we can get Stanton Barrett on the pod, me and Jack will be there. Stanton Barrett will be there. It'll be a grand old time. We'll post that. But yeah. I also met Jake Pullman, current points leader of ARCA. Got to interview him. I interviewed Gian Buffamonte, Trans Am TA2 driver, Nitro Motorsports driver, raced in Watkins Glen last year in ARCA. I interviewed. Landon. What's his name? Shoot. I'm forgetting his name now. Landon Lewis, who I believe drives an ARCA or trucks or something like that, and he was racing for Kevin Harvick Inc. At Trans Am, so that was pretty sick. I wanted to interview Tanner Reif, but it was raining and I was prepared to interview him, and then it rained, and then I was just like, I can't. So I didn't interview Tanner Reif, but he did like my Instagram post because I had a photo of him on the post, in the post. So he liked it, and he commented, and he put it on his story, which is pretty sick. So, yeah. I was a pretty cool driver, so I'm not going to lie. This past weekend was great. So my first weekend as a media member at Trans Am / Landmark Park, and I'm hyped. I'm so happy. Anyway. Also met somebody from Racing America, so I'm going to reach out to her to see if they have any internships in next year. Nashville this week for trucks, O'Reilly, and Cup. For Cup, I have Hamlin. For trucks, I have Riggs. And for O'Reilly, I have Corey Day.
I will take Ross Chastain in the Cup Series at Nashville. I will take not Ross Chastain in the O'Reilly Series at Nashville because he won't be participating. But I will be taking Ross Chastain in the Truck Series at Nashville because it worked out for me once, so why not try it again? In the middle race there, I'm taking Justin Allgaier because, why not?
So, what prediction did you get right this past week?
Ross Chastain.
In what series?
In one of the ones he was racing in.
So, can you name that series?
Yes, it is the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series.
And what series are you not picking Ross Chastain in this week?
The one he's not racing in this week.
And what series is that?
The O'Reilly Auto Parts Bow Series.
So you're picking him in the series. What the fuck? Anyway. You know what? I'm not even going to finish my thought. Who gives a damn? Let's talk about the Indy 500. Beautiful finish. Was really gunning for Marcus Armstrong there at the end, but he just didn't have the tires. But David Malukas took the lead with 2 to go. Or 1 to go. It was 1 to go. He took the lead on the last lap. It wasn't really it was a 1-lap shootout at the end. He took the lead on the last lap. And then literally on the final straightaway, he gets passed by Felix Rosenqvist.
basically a photo finish.
Yes, he was less than a tenth of a second behind him.
Yeah.
That was rough.
Beautiful, really.
It was beautiful for everybody, unless you were a David Malukas fan,
Or David.
or a David Malukas, or Pato Award fans because they got flashbacks to 2024.
Malukas did basically everything right. Felix Rosenqvist got a crazy run. Felix Rosenqvist wins the race. Pretty much as simple as that.
Yeah, that run by Rosenqvist was fucking hot. Like if there was, if it's the same as like a good looking car. It was just hot. It just gets you going.
Are you saying Ferrari should take some notes?
I'm building a sexier car. Abso-fucking-lutely. Their EV is ass. Anyway.
Yeah, Malukas wanted that bad.
I know.
And he did.
So close.
He did basically everything right. It just Rosenqvist just went crazy right at the end there.
Rosenqvist went sicko mode.
Watch Buxton's call at the end of the race if you didn't see it live.
Oh my god, dude! Did you see the TikTok IndyCar made of that call?
Elaborate, like just him in the booth or what?
Yeah, him in the booth.
Yeah,
with the. Oh my god, it was so good. His call that might be a top 5 call for me of all time. Top 5 racing call. Let's be clear. Mike Breen has my top 5 calls ever.
It's up there.
The whole list. Anything Mike Breen is top 5. But racing calls, that might be like one of my top 5 calls ever.
It's up there for sure.
I bet F1 is kicking themselves because they let him leave. Because that was freaking awesome.
Cinema.
It was beautiful.
Other beautiful things. Your boy Marcus Armstrong. Honestly, very well could have, might have even been justified in wrecking Rosenqvist's race when they were side by side, second and third, and he knew that in not doing that he was basically ending his own day. Obviously, he ended up finishing 5th, but he knew that was it for his chances of winning, and he did that. He let Rosenqvist survive another day, so to speak. In those last couple laps, and in a season where we've talked about other teammates' acts of selflessness, I think that for the Indianapolis 500, and in a race that Rosenqvist ends up winning, I think that we need to give him his props for that, because you can only imagine what that would do for his career if he had won it.
Yeah. Can we also give him props for not wrecking Malukas when Malukas went by him too? Because, listen, I'm greedy. I'm a greedy bitch. All right, I'm a greedy bitch. If that were me, I am doing everything in my fucking power to keep those MFers behind me. I am being such an aggressive driver.
And I think we figured out why you're not in an Indy car.
Listen, we've already agreed. I'm running the 500 in a couple of years. But I am such a greedy driver that I personally would. I would wreck myself. If I can't win, I'm wrecking other people. That's a joke. I wouldn't actually do that. I'm not that dangerous of a driver, but I would defend very aggressively. But I mean, he didn't wreck anyone. He took it like a champ. Shout out to Marcus Armstrong. Still top 5, so that's not bad. And the Jack F1 Academy. F1 Academy.
Yes, did you watch the race at all? Either of them?
I'm not gonna lie. Can I be honest?
Go for it.
Outside of Sunday, I mean Sunday as in the major 3 races, I was kind of slacking this weekend. I'm not gonna lie. I was slacking a little bit this weekend. I do plan on watching the F1 Academy races because I like to watch all of them either during or after the fact. I am watching the F1 Academy races tomorrow.
Spoiler alert. Honestly, probably not super worth watching them. Alicia Palmowski.
I don't care. I'm still going to watch them.
Wins by 10 seconds in a 17-lap race in a spec series. Both races. 10 seconds.
Repeat that. Repeat that one more time.
Alicia Palmowski wins both races each
Okay.
by 10 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
These are 17 lap races in identical equipment in a spec series. 10 seconds in 17 laps.
So put her in F1 already? Take over for Ocon at that point. I mean, come on, man. What are we doing?
I don't know about all that, but I mean,
Listen, 10 seconds and 17 laps is crazy, though. Especially in the spec series. If this was like 2014 F1, not that bad. That actually would probably be a good race for the rest of the grid. Spec series? Disgusting. Absolutely gross. Positive, not bad gross, good gross. That means she's cracked and good with the sauce.
like, actually incredible.
I need to watch these races now. I want to watch them.
And in kind of other driver notes, at least as far as Sunday goes, Emma Felbermeyer, again, it's kind of showing. To me, she's one of the more exciting prospects in the series. I don't know if that's exactly the right way to explain it, but I just enjoy watching her race in a way that I don't get with some of the other drivers. Like, she forced a lot of mistakes, kind of worked her way up the field when, for the most part, it felt like a lot of drivers were shooting themselves in the foot, because that's what you get in an F4 level series, right? Mm-hmm. Is people learning the cars, people making mistakes, all of that. And, you know, it's Canada. You had F1 drivers making a ton of mistakes. Like, that's how it goes. But she was fun to watch working her way up. There were some crazy battles at the back end of the top 10, where it was like 4 drivers just all trading blows back and forth. But nothing super, super notable, because, again, Palmovsky ran away with it. Like, I that's the headline, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's... Is she cracked and good with the sauce? Or both of them cracked and good with the sauce?
I wouldn't bring both of them into that. I think that if you win by 10 seconds, you deserve that question to be asked with just you in it.
All right. Is... let me make sure I'm saying this correctly. Alicia Palmowski. Is she cracked and good with the sauce?
Yes. Indisputably. Right. Hands down.
Indisputably. All right. Sounds good. Yep, that's it. And that, I think, is... That is it today. I don't know. I think that's it. That's all we got. So, the next time you will see us, as it is Monday, May 25th as we record this, the next time you see us, I will either be extremely depressed, or I will be putting Arsenal players in conversations they have no business being in. Because we either lose the Champions League final, or we win the Champions League final. I'm scared. I want to win, though, but also I'm scared. Anyway, Jack, your exit ticket. We're now in classes in session. Class is no longer in session. You have an exit ticket. Who is winning the Champions League final? And be honest. If you don't think it's Arsenal, be honest.
Dare I say, it worked before. So I'm going to say PSG. Okay. I'm going to say not Arsenal. And by it worked before, you know what I mean.
I do. I am scared to pick Arsenal, so I'm also going to pick PSG. I just hope I'm wrong.
It's unanimous.
It's unanimous. Anyway, that's the pod. Yeah, I have more content coming out on my channel. Tomorrow, I'll have a video out about the Canadian GP. I'll also have a video on my Instagram and photos on my Instagram from the Trans Am race weekend. I'll be posting a lot about that in the next week, 2 weeks. Yeah. Cheers. Bye. Dab.